Now, a lot of people use the word crash out, but they don't know what it really means. Meet Rajah Jackson, and in just a few moments after taking this picture, he slams a man named Psycho Stu into the ground and begins to throw hands at him, sending Stu to the hospital. Now, I know what you're thinking. What did Stu do to get him that mad? And I know what else you're thinking. Why they call him Psycho Stu? Well, be patient. We finna answer that in a second. See, this all starts when Rajah Jackson pulls up to a wrestling event. He's live streaming. Rajah Jackson is a streamer. The dude coordinating the event said, yo, Rajah, welcome. You're gonna have a great time. Somebody in the back said, who said that? It's Psycho Stu. He gets up in Rajah's face immediately saying, who said you finna have a good time? Now, Psycho Stu seems to be in character. He's a wrestler named Psycho Stu, and his character is, well, Psycho. Rajah seems to catch on, so he goes, man, get out my face, Stu. Stu says, or what? And this is when Rajah has a problem. He didn't realize how in character some people get. Stu immediately grabs a beer can, smashes it on Rajah's head and goes, whoa! Everybody goes, Stu, he's not a wrestler. Stu says, oh! Rajah is pissed. People immediately jump in between Stu and Rajah. Stu says, dude, I saw the cameras. I thought you was a new guy. My bad. Stu begins to apologize. Rajah says, boy, I don't just stream. Yeah, Rajah's also an MMA fighter, so he calms down. He seemingly accepts Stu's apology, and they say, let's move past it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, hold on. I thought Stu ended up in the hospital. Well, here's where things start to get wicked. Because, see, there's something I forgot to tell you about Rajah Jackson. His father's name is Quentin Jackson. Let me get more specific. Quentin Rampage Jackson, former UFC light heavyweight champion of the world. And they don't call him Rampage for no reason. But I digress. Let's get back to the story. Rampage hears what happens to his son, Rajah. He calls Rajah. He says, damn, you let men in tights do that to you? That's embarrassing. Rampage is known for trolling his son, Rajah. He be calling Rajah soft, and it's gotten to a point where the two have came to blows. Rajah said, look, I'm not in the mood. He ends the call with his dad. He's agitated. Then he begins to look at his chat. His chat, remember, he's live streaming, is going, damn, Rajah, you gonna let Psycho Stu do you like that? That's embarrassing. Rajah says, somebody said, Rajah. Rajah said, somebody said, Rajah. Rajah said, It's the event coordinator. He said, look, I know you're a little mad at Psycho Stu, but what we gonna do is we're gonna get you in the ring and you're gonna get your get back at Psycho Stu. You know, it's all gonna be in good fun. Rajah says, okay. And well, Rajah pulls up the Psycho Stu's match. He begins to look at the chat again. They say, Rajah, you soft. Rajah said, who soft? As soon as I get in that ring, I'm finna keep hitting him and nobody finna stop me. And the chat said, ooh, you seem a little serious. Boom, they said, Rajah, it's time to come in. Rajah rushes in, slams Psycho Stu into the ground. And well, I can't show you the rest. It's that bad. Psycho Stu is immediately rushed to the hospital. Rajah leaves the event and he's still going on saying, everybody finna stop playing with me. And there it is right there. That's a crash out. It seems that this wasn't about Psycho Stu. It seemed that this was about everybody getting to him. He said, everybody finna stop. You know what I'm saying? Rampage Jackson then sees what his son did. And he says, look, he does not condone what his son did, but it's his son, so he's always going to have his back. Psycho Stu is seemingly recovered. He's awake. He's talking. He's good. And as for Rajah, he hasn't made any comments, and he probably won't be making any comments because the police are involved now. So, you know, the police need to sort the situation out.